All right, my friends, Cassandra here, point of origin igniter and healthy, holistic Web3 ecosystem community builder. Now, today is the start of a new journey that I'm inviting you into. Please join me because this whole future of Web3, creator economy, crypto scares a lot of people. But I'm here to tell you that I'm going to be breaking it down and we are going to unearth every single element from the ground up starting today. I'm starting a newsletter. You're going to get videos like this, but I want to tell you a little bit about what encouraged me to hop on a video tonight after a long week with clients and share a little bit of a story. Now, recently I was in a summit with a man named Andrew. And Andrew helps all types of companies and creators create learning experiences. Now, someone that creates courses and understands gamification. I thought, this guy is really brilliant and I love his material. Now, in that summit, I met Dickie who has a blog and a book, and his course is called Ship 30 for 30. And Dickie Bush, yes, that is his name. He is just this brilliant, prolific digital writer who became a digital writer after he actually worked at BlackRock. And so quite a transformation. So we see all these hybrid professionals, right? I would consider myself as a hybrid professional. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I do energy and frequency work. I own 22, 22 years of owning organic salon and spa. But at the bigger piece of this, and this is why I'm so excited about Web3 and how we're decentralizing centralized markets, broad, wide, deep, back to the core of who we are. We're creating regenerative businesses. And so I am all in and I'm starting the Growth Guild and a creator coin, a share in this ecosystem with a holding economy for everybody comes in that is in this ecosystem is basically going to be able to get a free coin. So I'm going to drop in how you can be one of the first coin holders, which is the seed coin, where you'll come into the growth guild of coaches, hypnotherapists, healers, mental health professionals, you name it, leaders that really are cutting edge so that they can learn the intricacies of what is Web3, how do we build authenticity as well as integrity of moving into people over platform. Now, we're also going to have different sessions of being able to do group hypnotherapy and additional absolute cutting edge experts, such as Gary Henderson, my endearing coach around Web3 and creating a creator economy as well, so that you can learn from the top experts. So, with that said, this first editorial, which will be a newsletter post, it'll be a video, is going to start that journey. And I wanted to start it off with Dickie Bush and Jay Clouse, who also is inspiring to me on really starting to collapse short, pithy learning experiences, just like you would on a Twitter feed. Now, that is not my MO. I love to write and I have ADHD and I will get lost for hours in just writing in a trance, right? I'm a hypnotherapist, but believe me, I'm a no therapist and I untrance people. But I find myself in a trance because I love to write. It's poetry to me, it's energy moving through me. But the problem is, whether it's unconscious trauma or hiding behind the work, Dickie Bush also shared this experience. He thought all of these experts, it's so great, but so many people hide behind the work that they do and they never ship it. They never hit the damn button. They never put themselves out there in fear of being seen, in fear of thinking these people are going to think I'm crazy. So the same thing that Dickie Bush said, he's like, well, this man, and his name was Khe Hy, said something that changed his life. And he said, write a newsletter every week for 52 weeks and watch it change your life. So he did. And so he said, simply share what you're reading and learning, and worst case, you'll understand it better. So I often believe in what my friend Jim Quick says. what you teach, you get to learn twice. And this has been a methodology my entire life of creating organic ecosystems to better somebody's health, their mental health, their beauty with my different beauty products that I've created. It's all around when I look at it, big pictures, creating healthy ecosystems for people to be able to, yes, live their best self, to understand their true nature, and to transform out of the programming that we've all been stewing under since we were born, right? So I want to ask you right now, what do you want in your life? Put time and effort into what do I want versus what don't I want. And what I want is to be able to transform my thinking and my deep thinking into short and pithy, more salient pieces so that you cannot be afraid of Web3, of crypto and the blockchain and where this is going and the value that it's going to bring to you and to all of those that come into the growth guild um, ecosystem. So let's go ahead and jump in on this inspiring first email that I got from Dickie Bush when I signed up to his newsletter that really hit me like a ton of bricks because I was so guilty of it. And it's the difference between writing and really getting a message across so that people actually understand and use what you share, which is so important in these very complex, different jargon of Web3, metaverse, etc. So I'm going to go through basically his newsletter. And my goal is to really help you kick off this non fearful state of Web3. And so, with that said, there's two goals. Number one, I want to overcome my ADHD tendencies and my love for rabbit holes, as I've already said, and I want to stop that now. And so you're going to start seeing different newsletters come out, and just like an ecosystem and a growth guild, a guild is something that all the parts make it sustainable and make it stronger. That's you. Those are the individuals reading the information, sharing the information, coming in, and actually being an expert of your wealth of knowledge within this ecosystem, really taking that stage on the stage and really being the guides on the side. And that's what Web3 is really about. Number two is to really move through this self sabotage of hiding because I've got a lot to share and a lot of knowledge and a lot of gifts. And so there's going to be little snippets of experiences I'm going to have you come into and be open to, especially around entrepreneurship and trauma. Because what I found is that so many entrepreneurs really love their creation, but they feel like their creation or their job actually is traumatizing them through boom and bust cycles of wealth. We all have different ways that we self sabotage. We never get through that upper limit that we need to be able to feel and appreciate in ourselves of our success. So moving from success into significance. So this is a part of my journey really starting to step out as I see this huge wave, right? This huge wave coming. And so you can step off of this island, really, right? Lone Star or Lone Wolf Island, and actually see the wave coming, but not be in this freeze state, but actually get on the wave with me and ride the wave with me. We're going to start that with Dickie Bush's first email today. So it's the difference between legacy writers and digital writers one on one. So number one lesson, he says, the legacy writers versus the digital writers is that there's two types of writers today. The first is a legacy writer. And he says that these are people who still believe in the days of Hemingway, Faulkner, and Bukowski's. And so to become a writer, they believe you must smoke a corncob pipe, stare out the window, and wait for inspiration to strike. Better yet, you might detach yourself from the world, find some cabin up in the North Woods. For me, it's Ely, Minnesota. And God forbid, have no internet, and dedicate the next 10 months of your life writing the next general American novel. Now, and you might even die doing it, he said, but set aside, you live through suffering what it is to be what they call a true writer. Well, considering part of me likes to think of log cabins, actually, I love log cabins. And I already take many, many days to just move through one thread of thought with my hyper focus ADHD brain. That's right. I don't have lack of focus, I have hyper focus. Dickie says he thinks that it's a bunch of baloney. So he says the second are digital writers. So let's now move into the verses being a digital writer. These are people who, in the age of the internet, have realized the inefficiencies that kept so many talented writers from being heard 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 years ago. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think, I think about my grandparents. I think about my grandpa. I would go in and he'd have that big computer, right? It was huge. Oregon Trail's huge. And you'd be sitting and writing and consolidating all of our family trees, and you'd be reading, and he was such a deep thinker, even though he could be quite an asshole, crabby old man. And I think about all of his knowledge. And he curated the museum in his small town, but not a lot of it ever got out, right? Same with maybe your grandparents and many others. And so I really take that to heart. And so digital writers don't run away from life and seek refuge in a cabin. Says they incorporate their writing into their daily, everyday lives. Digital writers don't write by themselves, hiding away in an apartment. They practice in public using social publishing platforms such as Twitter, Medium, or Review, which is going to be the newsletter that I'm going to try out. Will I change? I might, but it's really playing with these build in real time, which is the essence of what this newsletter kickoff is all about. It's building in person, it's building in real time, sharing and experiencing with the public so that you can walk through that journey as well. And so Dickie believes that there has never been a better time in human history to be a writer, as long as you're a digital writer. So let's go a little bit deeper on the difference between what this looks like writing in the digital age. So he says there's one big difference between digital writers today and legacy writers who existed many years ago. Number one, legacy writers like to hide their work from the world until it's perfect. Digital writers allow the world to help them through and make progress through their work. And I would add in here with real time feedback. We get that through SEO. We get that through Twitter threads of people commenting on what they like and what they see. So it's in action, being able to co regulate with the information, what you're learning, as well as co regulate with your 100 true fans that you're building in real time. So he also says that it's really about letting go of the need to do some big brand reveal of your writing or like launching your next course. You've got 16 threads of your funnel. No, go live, get on a stream, ask what people want. This is the new even course creation, right? And then you go create the course. Same with writing, get the feedback. So instead of waiting until the big moment to hit publish to see what people think, digital writers test their ideas. They practice in public. Might be one of my fears and the fear that I'm overcoming with you here today, starting this newsletter and vlog. So as a result, their online writing is constant iteration. They prove their tweets between short essays. Proven short essays become longer articles, and proven articles become long form blogs and ultimate guides. Proven ultimate guides become books, courses, and so on. Opposite. So digital writers don't spend time on anything that hasn't been tested in some way, shape, or form or fashion. And as a result, the digital writers, you'll like this, my fast brains, move 10 times faster and build their audiences as they go along and end up uncovering way more ideas and their feedback from their readers that they would never have come up with on their own. So much so, Dickie says that once you go digital, you never go back. So there you go, my friends. This was what hit me really hard in thinking this is the perfect timing. I'm about to launch and speaking, teaching, podcasting, which will the seed to your success podcasts will be coming out, all talking about how decentralization is going to be really the rebirth of the creator economy that allows you to become your own currency. Literally mind blowing when you understand the depth of who you are, that gets to get grounded in who you are and invite your 100 true fans, or just find a community that you really love and want to participate in and support, and give the money to the creator or the community. Or for instance, when you hold the coin, instead of, purchasing a course and then feeling really tense about having to finish it on time, or getting in a year-long mastermind, but feeling like you never get time to ask the question because somebody else always has their needs. So you just be quiet and don't really ask for what you need. Or let's say you are ADHD like me and you're impulsive. And so you purchase the course and then you end up in these funnels and you're just like, just give me a refund. I'm so overwhelmed before you even start. That goes away, my friends, in the Growth Guild, where you come in and you seed whatever it is of that masterpiece, meaning your mission. And the difference between the Growth Guild is that I don't want to say this because it's like a jargon word right now, but it's trauma informed in the sense that it really works with your spiritual and emotional intelligence. And we go through a myriad of ways that we do that, but it's experiential learning and it's also experiential healing, because this next genre of business is really from bottom up. It's the network effect, where there's all of these beautiful different flowers and trees, and all the birds and the butterflies come in because you're attracting the wealth, versus being the butterfly catcher trying to hold in all the money from a top down hierarchical approach and scared of losing it all. It is collaboration over competition. It is abundance over scarcity. And it is not a Ponzi scheme in which the banking world and the government has been putting on you for so long that you haven't even been conscious to. The world is waking up. So consider this day one of the vlog and the Growth Guild Field Notes newsletter. And I'm so glad that you're with me. Thank you for your time. And I hope that you really took this to heart in what Dickie Bush shares. So for more information about Dickie Bush, you can find him at ship30for30.com, which will be in the show notes. And you also can find him on Twitter. And my friend Andrew, who has the Curious Lion company. And also want to give a shout out to Jay Clouse, who helps creators be better creators and be professional at doing so. And last but not least, Gary Henderson, my awesome mentor around creating the creator economy. So if you're interested in doing the same thing as a absolute empathic ADHD, that's cool too. You belong here. You are going to ride this wave forward versus standing on the shore on Lone Wolf Island, scared on what to do next. All my love, all my light, and we'll see you on the next thread.